Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A fabulous Friday to one and all. Welcome to SG International Dynamic Speakers Chapter Meeting. My name is Alicia Chia, and I'm the Toastmaster of the day for this meeting. Tonight's meeting theme is centered on vision. A lot of times, I felt like I didn't have a vision. It was because I confused vision with a grandiose, big picture vision. But that does not, you do not necessarily need a grandiose concept or vision. Instead, think about this. Do you have a vision of your life? And what is this vision of your life? Your life vision defines who you want to be, what you want to be known for, and the set of experiences and accomplishments you aim for. So your vision helps define the goals by giving you a framework to evaluate your goals. Hence, your vision becomes your why, or rather your purpose in life. So now I realize I do have a vision of life. And my vision of life started with helping people to get better, help people when they need help. And now I've come to the point where I thought I want to help myself so that I can help more people. So one way of helping myself is to be a better speaker, better communicator. So when you have a vision, it's very powerful. You can bring the world into focus and yourself into it. As you know, COVID-19 has disrupted the world. So once you think about your life vision, you bring more stability into your life. And you get motivated. Simple things as a dream will help you in developing your vision of your life. So what I want everyone here to key in the chat group, in the chat, what is your vision of your life? Right? I have someone who says, I want to become a proficient public speaker. Well done. Why not? Become healthy, wealthy, and wise. All right. Okay. Don't feel shy. If you don't have a vision, maybe you can tell us maybe what you dream of yourself has. Someone says, my current vision is to be promoted to a grandmother, hot grandmother. Why not? If that's your vision of life and that keeps you motivated, well done. I want to become inspirational team leader. Yes, why not? So if you think back to your life, you could have many small visions. In fact, I have a lot, but suddenly I feel nervous in front of so many of you. And I lost track of my life visions. Later, it will come back. Now, having a vision is very important in the path of your success in life. You will feel very valuable as a person when you set and achieve your vision and goals. Although you don't know what will happen tomorrow or in the future, but we can decide what we want to do tomorrow. And so I will leave everyone here to think about your vision of life and So now I would like to hear from our club president, DTM Willie Low, with his opening address. Over to you, Mr. Club President.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. What exactly is a vision, and why is so important to communicate your vision as a leader? This can be considered your vision at home, as a leader at home. It doesn't mean to be a vision in a corporate world. Vision describe some achievement or future stage that the organization wants to achieve. A vision has to share in order to do what is meant to do, which is inspire, clarity, and focus. What leader need to do in order to have a vision? We need to tell a story. A story that a good story that we will give life to a vision. So are you a good storyteller? A good storyteller creates trust, capture hearts and minds, and serve as a reminder of the vision. But it's always easier. People always find it easy to repeat a story than to talk about a vision statement. So what is Toastmaster vision? To be better communicator and leadership. What's the next point? We need to perfect our elevator speech. So where can we perfect our elevator speech? That is in Toastmaster chapter. That's where you can summarize in a 3 to 5 minutes in a leave and describe and communicate to people what you want to sell to them. It can be in a leaf, in a category, it can be anywhere. And you need to publicize. If you don't publicize your vision, nobody will know what your company intend to do and what's your goal. So a lot of people are just on the spot vision, but the on the spot vision will have a lot of things you need to manage. So a lot of leaders did not think, they not think far, they just think only for the moment. And most important is networking. You need to engage others. Personal connection gives leader opportunity to transmit information, receive feedback, build support, and create an energy around the vision. And when you network, you draw a crowd. Have you wondered why CEO would speak at various functions? After they have spoken, they have a lot of people crowd over them because they are they get what they have a good vision that they can attract people, and then people will buy the idea. Another way to share visual is to use slide, PowerPoint visual aids, so that people will know your progress. If not, you will just plain text, and plain text normally does not last long. And most important is back up what you are talking. Bolster what you are saying with your behavior. If people see one thing and hear another, your clarity is sharp and your vision is dead. I will talk about what about as a Toastmaster, what is our vision? You will hear in my closing speech. Over back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Club President Willie Low. In Toastmasters, not only do we practice speeches, projects, we also train future leaders. So to quote Warren G. Bennis, Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. So it's very important for all of us, budding leaders and aspiring leaders, to translate your vision into reality. That means you need to be action-orientated, not just talk, and communicate. Right. Thank you, Club President, for giving us such an inspiring speech on vision and reminding us how important vision is. In the meantime, let's hear from some of our role players who will be supporting the meeting tonight and hear what is their vision of their life. First up, we have the R counter, Toastmaster Jennifer Lim, IP3. Toastmaster Jennifer Lim's friends call her Hot Mama. And Toastmaster Jennifer Lim likes reading to gain knowledge, singing to improve her vocal variety, and dancing to keep fit. Toastmaster Jennifer, could you please share with us about your role as the R counter, and also share with us what is your vision of your life? Over to you, Toastmaster Jennifer.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, Club President, as well as fellow Toastmasters, my buddies in crime right now. Yeah, I am the R counter for tonight, and I'm responsible for keeping track on the use of pause-filler words in tonight's session. Words like which are meaningless, like you know, like, etc. So try not to use that. If you feel like using it, pause for a moment. Don't use it. They are useless. They are meaningless. So don't use any of that. And try not to repeat words like, you know, I, but, these are all pause fillers. That's my role for tonight. I will catch you. I will practice my listening ears for tonight. Well, my vision, as I put in the chat, to be promoted to a grandmother, so that I can be known as Hot Grandmama. Sounds good, isn't it? But honestly, it's just a vision. Well, I guess it will come true, but not so much with my eldest son, because he's married, but they prefer not to have children. They want a dog, and they have a dog. That dog is their daughter. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jennifer. What an interesting vision of your life. I'm sure you'll be able to achieve it. It's just a matter of time. Next, we have the timer. And Toastmaster Ahmad Nohasim is our timer tonight. He likes reading novels, empowering others, and watching TED videos. And during the weekends, his time is spent playing with his children. Toastmaster Ahmad, could you tell us more about your role as the timer, as well as share with us your vision of your life? Over to you, Toastmaster Ahmad.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alicia. My role is the timer, is to keep time for all the speakers to ensure that everyone speak within their time slot. This will also help ensuring that the meeting run on time. I will show 3 color: red, not red, red, yellow, and blue, green. For example, for prepared speech, you have 5 to 7 minutes. I will show the green red in 5 minutes, and then yellow in 6 minutes, and the red in 7 minutes. I hope you are qualified and on time. What is my vision? It is big question for my life. Personally, this year I have vision to finish my study on time and good result. I will study hard to reach the vision, and of course I will manage my time. I set my goal, I manage my time to reach the goal. I believe that if we consistent and persistent, we can be reach our goal, our vision, in shorter vision or long vision. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ahmad. Yes, we know you've always wanted to improve your English language. And thank you for sharing with us and taking the big step of going overseas to Korea to learn English. I'm sure you will achieve your goal of picking up the English language. And that will set you on your life's path to something higher. Keep it up. Now, we have an exciting program for everyone here tonight. We will first kick off with a better speaking segment, that is the prepared speeches, then followed by a 10-minute break. Then evaluations of these speeches, and the third segment, e-karaoke segment. Yes, so this is a very different program tonight. And so sorry, we have no table topic, but I replace it with the third segment, e-karaoke. Welcome everyone to join us at the e-karaoke segment. Tonight, you will hear from 3 speakers sharing their thoughts on the pathway projects that they are completing. Our first speaker tonight is Angela Lansbury, ACG, ALB, HPL, PM5. She will be delivering her speech from the Effective Coaching Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, Evaluation and Feedback. I would like to invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Lee Buckley, to read the purpose statement. Over to you, DTM Lee.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of Angela's project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of Angela's speech tonight is for her to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received from her first speech. All the best, Angela. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Lee. So this speech will be a 4 to 6 minute, sorry,
No,
5 to
7
minute speech. And I would like to remind the speaker to pin the timer. Can you find the timer?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do that.
Our timer is Mr. Hamsam, Toastmaster Nohasim. Can you find him? Toastmaster
Yes,
Ahmad?
I have him. I have him.
All right, good. So please pin the timer. Thank you. Toastmaster Angela Lansbury has completed 4 paths in pathways: presentation mastery, engaging humor, dynamic leadership, and visionary communication. She's an author and an enthusiastic recycler and a blogger. She also teaches English, business English, and conducts various workshops. Tonight, she will speak on why she hates cooking, but thinks everybody should learn how to cook. Here's why. Please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Angela Lansbury with what you should teach and why. Toastmaster Angela Lansbury.
Thank you, friends. I'm now in Singapore and I gave up cooking because last time I tried to cook, I decided to clean the oven and I wiped it all around and it had a grill in the top, which was still burning hot from cooking the biscuits. And I did that. Oh! And then I put my hands in water and after about 20 minutes, it didn't get any better. So I ended up in the hospital. And I've never forgotten this and I haven't cooked since. But let's go back. I think you should learn to cook. My husband has learned to cook and he's cooking for me. Everybody needs somebody to cook for them if they can't cook or they won't cook. Let us go back to when I was a child. As you can hear from my accent, I grew up in England and I was a little girl. My mummy taught me to cook. She taught me to cook eggs and she was very cautious. She's a bit like I am now. You can see how it runs in the family. And she taught me to cook eggs. Now, in case any of you are vegan or don't know what an egg looks like, this is an egg. This is an ostrich egg. It's a big egg. I'm just using the big one so that you can see it easily. In England, the eggs I would have had for breakfast would have been little eggs, like this one. This is a boiled egg. It's the simplest egg. You can teach a child to cook an egg the way I was taught by my mother. What you do is you take your saucepan and you fill it with cold water, and then you put your egg into the saucepan, and then you boil up a kettle very carefully, and you pour the hot water in, and then you wait and you time it with an egg timer for about 8 minutes. Oh, but it's so complicated. My husband told me today it depends on whether it's been in the fridge or it's been out of the fridge and whether it's a regular size egg or a big egg. I didn't bother with any of that when I was little. My mummy just told me to use the egg timer twice and then I would have a hard-boiled egg. And then not to go anywhere near the hot water, but to pour cold water in, and then you can crack your egg on the top. Well, you have to crack it really hard and put it in your egg cup. So far, so good. I learned this as a child. Let us move on a few years. I am now, my mother wouldn't let me cook when I was older. She said I should be doing my homework instead. However, by the time I got married, I'd been single for a few years. I'd been cooking for myself and I thought I could do it perfectly. However, when I got married, things changed. The day after the wedding, I made breakfast and I was ready. I had my egg cup. I had my eggs. I put my egg cup in the pot. And my husband came rushing in and said, no, 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 no. You don't do it like that. You have to start with hot water, not with cold water. I'd started with cold water. How can you time it if you haven't started with hot water, boiling water? How do you know how long it's been there? Look, I said, this is how my mother does it. Well, he said, you're in my house now. Well, I thought, we're going on a honeymoon later today. I think I'd better do it his way. So from then on, I did it his way. Let us move on a few years. My lovely mother died. I went home. My father wouldn't come home with me. He wanted to stay in his home. And the next morning he rang me. I said, yes. And he said, I need your help. I said, what is it? He said, I don't know how to cook my breakfast. I said, make a boiled egg. He said, how do I do that? So I went back to what my mother had taught me as a child with the cold water very carefully so you can't burn yourself. And I told him how to do it. Then he said, I can't find an egg cup. I said, I'll bring you an egg cup. This is an egg cup. Singapore, other Asian countries, Nigeria, they've never heard of an egg cup. This is an egg cup. Everyone in England has an egg cup. Every shop in England has an egg cup. Every hotel in England has an egg cup. Every hotel in England has an egg cup. And every British person who comes to Singapore cannot understand why there are no egg cups. Forget the egg cups. The moral of the story is, just in case your poor widowed parent doesn't know how to cook, make sure everyone in your family knows how to cook. Teach the children how to cook carefully. Teach your spouse how to cook in case you're ever ill and can't do it for them, those of you who are the cook. Teach everyone to cook excellently. Eggs or anything else you have for breakfast. Could be porridge, could be eggs, whatever you like. Teach them how to cook. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Angela. Yes, it was a very funny speech on the importance of cooking. Cooking is indeed very important. In fact, it applies to both male and female. For females, if you can cook, it will go all the way to your guy's heart. There's such a saying. Cooking feels, I forgot what's the saying, but you know what I'm talking about. For guys, you can cook as a form of love for your family, or for your girlfriend. And in this COVID-19 era, when you have nothing to do, cooking is very important. It helps to nurture and bond families together. But if you have some fear, just like me, I've got a bit of fear being scalded by the fire. I have fear of fire. So cooking to me is very traumatic. But now that I've moved to my new apartment, I've decided that I want to learn to cook. So I encourage everyone to move out your comfort zone. If you're a good cook, continue the good work and be a better cook. If you fear cooking because of your fear of fire, heat, or some trauma, think of other things that are the benefits of cooking, such as bonding with your friends, family. This will overcome your fear. Right. Thank you, Angela, Toastmaster Angela, for showing us that wonderful speech on cooking. Now, next up, we have the second speaker, Kanan Sankara DTM. He will be speaking on speech that is from the Dynamic Leadership Level 3, Inspire Your Audience project. I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Angela Lansbury, to share with us the project purpose statement. Over to you, Toastmaster Angela.
You're muted, Angela can hear you.
Good evening, everybody. This is a project from level 3. I was sent a different evaluation form. So can you tell me which one it is?
Level 3, Inspire Your Audience project. Do you want me to give the project objectives?
It's to present a speech in an enthusiastic and inspiring fashion to establish a strong rapport with your audience. To practice writing and delivering a speech which inspires others.
Thank you, Toastmaster Angela Lansbury. I would like to remind this speech will be from 5 minutes to 7 minutes. And I would like to remind the speaker to pin the timer, please. Toastmaster DTM Kanan, have you done that?
Yes.
All right, very good, excellent. DTM Kanan Sankara loves to travel. He lives in Baltimore, Maryland, USA, with his wife, Janaki Kanan. They have one son who is studying in Johns Hopkins. He started his Toastmasters journey in late 2012 and eager to improve his speaking skills. He would like to give speeches without any preparation. And his goal is to speak without any grammatical mistakes. Tonight, he would focus on COVID and share with us that it is not a bad thing. Please give a warm welcome to DTM Kanan Sankara with COVID is not as bad as you think. Over to you, DTM Kanan Sankara.
I have lost my job. Fellow Toastmasters, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, and distinguished guests. You heard it right. It was the week of Christmas last year. My boss told me that my contract with the company was over. My company gave my send-off as the Christmas present due to COVID. My mom always wanted me to work in the government. Her philosophy is a steady income, even though low, can plan my family life better. In India, working for the government means doing boring work and lifelong drudgery, but it gives a guaranteed paycheck. Me, I wanted fantasy and excitement. I wanted to play with the computers, the magical world that seemed beyond fantasy when I was young. I loved to travel and found myself in Middle East, Far East, Australia, and finally in USA. Though my mom shook her head with frustration, I got to get away with it, as I was one of her favorite sons. I was very dejected as I lost the job. It was a challenge to find a new job at my age with gray hair, or can I say no hair. It was the middle of the pandemic and every business in Baltimore was either downsizing or freezing new hire. This would definitely throw a dent in our retirement saving. Why must I always go through this? God, even though gives me challenges, gave me a boon in the form of my wife. My wife always sees the thing totally different. She's very cheerful. When I find it difficult to drive through a snow route, my wife would ask me to appreciate the beautiful trees glittering with a white snow. She would find some reasons to celebrate, even when we get any problems. If any person talks to her, the person can be sure of getting many positives from her life. She's a great motivator. When I talk to her, she motivates me and brings me out of my worries. She firmly believes that this type of struggles make me strong. When I told her that I lost the job, she immediately told me that we could find out something. She told me not to worry, calm down, and everything would be fine. My wife is employed, so we did not have to worry about the health insurance immediately. A major issue that we can take care of it later. She asked me to look at this situation as a break that I had not taken for the last 2 years, and I have been working for 50 to 60 hours per week. She asked me to take this opportunity to do the things that I have been putting it off. Based on her encouragement and motivation, I saw a silver line shining in my life. I made a list of things I wanted to do. I connected with all our extended families in India, in USA, and I connected through Zoom immediately. I connected with all my old friends in Australia. I attended many Toastmaster online meetings all over the world. Last week, I attended a meeting in Ireland. I became a club coach for 2 clubs and started working on building Toastmaster Club. I aspired to work for district roles in Toastmasters, and I started working for that. I joined additional clubs. I helped proteges and motivated them to speak and achieve their goals. I connected more with my son. I was able to spend more time with my wife and appreciate the beautiful craft she made and enjoyed her cooking. Like Angela's husband, I started learning basic cooking. I can boil the eggs without any egg cups. I can cook some dishes today. Last Sunday, I had baked a bread and it came out reasonably average thanks to the Great British Baking Show. First lesson, I learned it. I burnt the bread a little bit. I learned the challenges are the passing pain. I have also found another IT job and started working from home. Now I need not drive 1 hour each way to go to my office. Fellow Toastmasters, do not give up. Every one of us is stronger than we think. We have survived war. We have survived pandemic, floods, famine, and poverty. We will also survive COVID. There is a hope as vaccination is found and we all will get it eventually. We will live through our challenges. Hence, next time when you see an issue, do not look up the sky and curse. If we have survived all the challenges till date, we will survive whatever is coming. After all, COVID is not bad as you think. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Madam Toastmaster, sorry.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kanan. Yes, in fact, COVID is not as bad as you think. And what a nice wife you had that could give you support. So everyone here, before you panic because of COVID-19, look around you. Who are your friends, family, your support system? And on top of it, remember you have your inner light, that you can always use your inner light to come out this COVID-19 more resilient. In fact, even seniors like my father, he strengthened his cooking skills, cooked us fabulous Western dishes. And now that COVID-19 has gone to the third stage phase in Singapore, phase 3 we call it, he has picked up baking skills. So every now and then I get to bring home some cake back. Excellent, right? Thank you once again, DTM Kanan Shankara, for uplifting us in this post-COVID-19 era. And now I'm very happy to introduce the third and final speaker, Toastmaster Corey Melani. She will be presenting her speech from the Presentation Mastery Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, Evaluation and Feedback, second speech. I would like to invite her evaluator, DTM Kanan Shankara, to share with us the purpose statement. Over to you, DTM Kanan Shankara.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The purpose of this project is for Corey to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback in the second speech. I think she is giving the second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received from her first speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kanan. I would like to remind the speaker to pin the timer, please. Toastmaster Corey, have you pinned the timer?
Is Ahmad, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Can I have a permission to share the screen?
All right. Just give me a minute. All right. While our speaker prepares her share screen, this speech will be similar to the previous speech. It will last from 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Corey Melani is a passionate product designer who loves to design usable and delightful products. Whether it's an app or a website that helps people in their daily lives. In her free time, she loves to find the best coffee in town, traveling and exploring new places and food, as well as taking photographs. Her favorite quote is, "Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching." What a wonderful quote. Tonight, she will speak on the overview of the basic principles of effective communication, on how to talk so people will listen, and how to listen so people will talk. Now, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Corey Melani with 5 tips on how to influence people. Toastmaster Corey Melani.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alicia. Let me share my screen. Okay. Are you able to see the screens? Oh, okay. Good evening, our fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. For today, I will be delivering a speech about 3 tips how to influence people. As we all know, conversation are day-to-day things that affect your life. And strong relationship, careers are building depending on your conversation skills. Successful people often know how to make a dialogue. When two or more people enter into conversation, they may not share the same opinions. And people who are skilled at dialogue, they can make it safe for everyone to chip in their thoughts or feeling into the conversation. So if I can ask you, have you ever experienced someone who talked with, didn't really listen to you, but instead she or he rejecting your idea, be it spouse or friends or co-workers? If you ever experienced this, please type yes in the chat. I give maybe a few seconds. Okay. So here I want to share 5 tips on how to influence people. The first thing, sorry, I shortened a bit. It will be 3 tips how to influence people. The first thing, we should acknowledge the person's feelings. Our natural instinct is normally we listen with the intent to reply. Instead, listen with the intent to understand the person better. So my advice is don't dismiss the person's feeling and giving advice straight away. Don't push away their painful or upsetting feelings, but actually our listening skills or our listening act actually can give a greatest comfort if, let's say, the person is experiencing a hurtful situation or sad situation. Actually, it's our acceptance of the person's unhappy feelings that can make it easier for he or she to cope with it. It's about trying to really hear what their feelings and accept their feelings. I will give you an example of the story between a parents and the here. If you can see, okay. So this is the first about the comical things to help you to understand a bit. First, mother asks AB, why you're crying? AB say, I don't want to talk about it. The mother say, if you talk about it, you'll feel better. Scott dumped me. He what? Well, a good riddance. I never liked him. I did. Honey, you forget about him. You have plenty of other boyfriends. That's what you think. This is a first scenario if you're dismissing the feelings. Second, the suggestion is identify her thoughts or feelings. Second scenario, which is a better response, is AB, something is making you unhappy. Scott dumped me. Oh, no wonder you are so upset. I should have seen it coming. He always flirting with other girls. That could hurt. It did, but I keep telling myself I was the only one he really liked. You want so much to believe it. Yeah, but it wasn't true. Anyway, he's not the kind of person I want for a boyfriend. So the second one actually is a better response because it's identify the person's thoughts and feelings. There is a second example. This is about the boy and the mother. The first scenario, oh no, my Shakespeare's report is due tomorrow. Don't tell me you still haven't finished it. I thought I had it till Friday. That's what happens when you don't plan ahead. But, no but. Just sit down and do it now. Get off my back. Watch your mouth. The second one, actually, you can acknowledge your feelings with a word of sound, like, oh, I see. So the boy say, oh no, my Shakespeare this shoot all my plans. I was going to watch the game tonight. But now I have to finish the stupid thing. First you read if you're way late. I see. So by having an empathetic response and giving a minimal response, actually you can accept things, the feeling. Be curious. Ask question will openly invite the other person to freely express themselves. For example, you can ask, what's going on? Or I would like to hear your opinion. Tell me as much as you know. Mirror or to confirm the feelings. For example, he or she might say, don't worry, I'm fine. While the tone of voice actually indicating that he or she really upset. So you can mirror the situation by saying, really, you don't really sound like you are fine. It's okay for you to feel the way as you feel now. You can talk through your feelings with me without being judged. Paraphrase once in a while to confirm or acknowledge their story. It shows that you are tagging along to the story. For example, you can paraphrase by, you are saying this or that, am I right? Listening with a genuine interest and respect is the foundation to any relationship. So point number 3, actually you can also communicate with a hand gesture to influence your audience, especially if you give a public speaking, or if let's say you are delivering a meeting or leading a meeting in the office, you can maybe try these tips. You can try your hand like this, I'm certain, with this gesture. So anthropologists found that this gesture actually convey a certain, and you know that you are talking about and have a strong directive to give. Open. So being open with honesty, use it when you want to be fully transparent by putting it all there and you welcome people in. Third, I have a big idea. Open your hands like this, introducing a new thoughts that you might have a breakthrough. This is the way it is. This gesture embodies that you have an unwavering precision when you want to make a precise point. Third, you can use a finger counting. The movement makes your point easier for listener to remember and to help people follow along when you have several key items to highlight. So this is 3 tips, and I hope by following this tip, you can have a better relationship and have a better skill to influence people. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Corey Melani. Now, this speech was so interesting. And I'm sure our audience will realize that you can use these 3 tips to influence people. But as simple as it looks like, you need to practice, practice, practice. Then you will find that it works. It's just not talk, you have to practice, right? Everything is about practice. And if you have your communication right, able to influence people, you will see that your vision of your life will improve much better. Thank you to all the 3 speakers for providing us such enriching speeches. I would like to call our timer, Toastmaster Ahmad, to let us know the timings for all the 3 speakers. Toastmaster Ahmad?
Thank you, Toastmaster Alicia. The timer, according to my timer, Angela spent 6.29. Kanan 6.80 and Corey 7.3.
Wonderful.
Thank
So
you.
all 3 speakers have qualified, right? Excellent. Since everybody qualified, I will start the polling. There's the poll. Zoom Master, can you please assist? All right, now I can see. Right, I've launched the polling. Please vote for your best speaker. 62% have voted. The rest of you who cannot decide, please put in your votes.
Can I ask a question to the timer? What is my time? 6 minutes and 80 seconds? What is that?
Yes.
80 seconds.
Should be 18. 618,
Oh,
not 80. Canon.
I was worried. I'm just checking my time. That's all. Thank you.
No worries, all the 3 speakers spoke well within time. Congratulations. But we still need the audience to vote. I'll give everyone another 60 seconds to vote before I close the polls. All right, the polling has ended. And the time now is 10:09 Singapore time. And we will have a 10-minute break. I'll take it as 10:10. So 10 minutes, please be back by 10:20 Singapore time, GMT +8.
Okay, never mind.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second segment of tonight's meeting, the evaluation and report segment. Evaluation and report segment is where active listening happens. And active listening helps in giving evaluations. And our evaluators will evaluate on the content and delivery, handing out commendations and recommendations. We have 3 very good evaluators tonight, and I'm very happy to introduce the first evaluator, Lee Buckley, DTM. DTM Lee loves traveling and meeting people, learning and sharing the different cultures and cuisines globally. To quote Rohit, the best way to multiply your happiness is to share it with others. What a wonderful quote. So DTM Lee loves to multiply happiness with others. And now I would like to invite Evaluator 1, Lee Buckley, DTM, to evaluate the first speaker's speech. Back to you, DTM Lee.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let's be honest here. Who can honestly say that you can boil an egg perfectly every single time? I can't. Toastmaster Angela tonight took us on a journey of how to excellently boil eggs, how her mummy's way when she was young to when she came to Singapore, and to finally the way her husband does it. Angela is a fantastic storyteller and queen of props, using vivid descriptive words, visual aids, and humor to bring her story to life, and at the same time taught us a couple of ways to boil eggs. There were 3 areas of improvement identified for Angela from her first speech. I'd like to offer some feedback as to whether she has incorporated this feedback into her second speech tonight. The first area was injecting more drama or conflict into her speech. I felt Angela tonight achieved this in terms of portraying more emotions, more dialogues, and more vocal variety when talking about herself as well as when portraying her husband. No, 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 no. You know, or my mommy told me. The expressions when she didn't know how, to cook her breakfast. I loved how she said, every British person who comes to Singapore couldn't believe that we don't use an egg cup in Singapore. Well done, Angela. You had emotions, you had vocal variety, and you had dialogues as well. The second and third areas for her improvement was standing up and then I think the characters facing each other in different directions as she's portraying the dialogues, as well as standing up when she was speaking. With that, I would like to share a screen with everyone. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah. I captured this when she was speaking. So she started with a good frame. The best thing about video presentations or virtual presentations is to have a strong virtual presence. And I believe she achieved this. My only recommendation is with her background, it's a bit colorful and it's a bit different. So it's better to have a screen, for example. Okay, I'll give you an example. I've got a Japanese screen on my background, and then that's a good way to use it as well. The second slide was when she went to take her props. So I would suggest when she was taking her props, whether it was the ostrich egg or the egg cups, she disappeared from the screen. So Angela, please be wary of your screen presence. Have your props ready around you so that you don't disappear from the screen. Have that strong video presence. Love your huge ostrich eggs, egg cups, your different expressions, your different stands, and your presence at the end as well. The only thing I would like to recommend is you are looking towards the right of the camera. I would suggest, if you can, look at the camera instead. All in all, you injected drama, you injected humor, love your journey, and I love your title, Excellently Boiling an Egg. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, DTM Lee Buckley, for your sharp analysis and active listening, and also using the share screen to present your evaluation. Good job. Now, next up, we have the second evaluator, Kanan Shankara, DTM. And DTM Kanan Shankara loves to travel. He lives in Baltimore, Maryland, USA, with his wife, Janaki Kanan. They have one son who's studying in Johns Hopkins. He started his Toastmaster journey in late 2012 and was eager to improve his speaking skills. So let us put our heads together to welcome Kanan Sankara DTM to evaluate the second speaker's speech.
I was the second speaker. I thought Angela is evaluating me, but I can evaluate Corey. Angela can go next. No problem.
Yes, thank you for the sharp analysis. You're really actively listening. Thank you.
Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Corey. 3 tips on how to influence people. Corey, it was a very good speech. You shared the presentation. I like the presentation. The presentation was pictorial. Great job. Well done. Because the presentation was pictorial, we could follow you very well. 3 things you mentioned, 3 tips: acknowledge the person's feeling, be sincere, and communicate with your hand gestures. All the 3 tips were excellent, and definitely it is very good to follow. Now, I was checking your audience contact, reasonably good also, and the interest for this speech was excellent. Everybody was following very eagerly. Those are the very positive things. Now, some improvements so that you can take this speech to the next level. You shared 2 examples on the acknowledge the person's feeling, right way and the wrong way. First example was great. Second, you shared all the examples were good, but since you shared 2 examples, you were in a hurry to wrap up the speech because the red light was there or the yellow light was there. The other 2 points, be sincere and communicate with hand gestures, you were a bit hurried to finish that. You could share one example, that's enough. You had shared the first example, right and wrong way, that's enough. Go to the next point, be sincere and communicate with hand gestures. That could have taken better. You could have got a better time to manage proportionately. Second, your third tip was communicate with hand gestures. But I could not see your hand gestures. Try to use the Zoom feature. You know, you can add in your, when you are sharing a presentation, you can also add your picture as part of the presentation so that we could see your gestures very well. So avoid the second example so that you could talk very well, use your gestures and a bit of vocal variety. That could take you to the next level. Overall, I would say it's a wonderful speech. The pictorial presentation was an asset to you. You are a great presenter. So use your strength and try to work on the improvements that you will be an excellent public speaker. Thank you, Corey. Thank you for an opportunity for evaluating. Back to you, Madam
Thanks,
Toastmaster.
Kenan. May I clarify if my hand are not in the camera level?
No.
Oh,
not
okay,
while-
okay.
Now,
Maybe
yes,
it's
but
too
not
low.
while you're speaking.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Kanan Sangara DTM, for sharing your insight and recommendations and giving tips to our speaker to improve on her speech and bring her to the next level. Now we have our third and final evaluator, Angela Lansbury, ACG, ALB, HPL, and PM5. Toastmaster Angela Lansbury has completed 4 paths in Pathway: presentation mastery, engaging humor, dynamic leadership, and visionary communication. She is an author, an enthusiastic recycler, and a blogger. She also teaches English, business English, and conducts various workshops. Now let us all welcome Toastmaster Angela Lansbury to evaluate our third speaker, or rather our second speaker, DTM Kanan Shankara. Over to you, Toastmaster Angela.
Thank you, Alicia. And now to Kanan and all the audience here. I'm sure you all loved Kanan's speech. The first thing I have to say about it is that it was topical, it was relevant, and it was a serious subject. It was something which concerns all of us. In fact, it concerns us in America, where he is, in Singapore, where I am, and all over the world. So number 1, it was a topical, relevant problem. Number 2, I loved his personal stories, the way he brought in his work and his wife. And we also learned about where his son works, so that was interesting. Then thirdly, I thought he had excellent language. He used words like drudgery and magical world. And fourthly, I thought his gestures were absolutely brilliant. I made a list of many of them. He talked about he showed the hands on the wheel. He talked about throwing your worries away, and his hand went over his shoulder. He talked about the whole world, and he gestured all around. And there were many more, such as achieve, and he struck down with the edge of his hand. So that was excellent. Now, what could we do to try and help crisp this up and make it even better? I think he started with a question to all of us: have you lost your job? I loved the stories about his wife, and I wondered if he could bring his wife in a bit closer and have a phrase that she always says, like, "Don't worry, dear," or "It'll be all right in the end," and keep repeating this phrase, and then tell us to remember his wife saying that phrase. don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. So that when we go off, instead of just remembering, oh yes, Cannon has a lovely wife who made him feel better, we have a phrase that we can cling on to and remember, like, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Now, a couple of minor points that could get him extra points in a contest, because I've been a judge many times, and you're given 5 marks for language, pronunciation, grammar, and so on. Now, at this point, you can have the best speech in the world, and you're up against other people who've also got brilliant speeches. How are you going to make sure you get those 5 points, which is essential to be better than the others or to be as good as the others? Now, first of all, I would suggest he use his direct speech. Instead of she told me that, it could be she said, do this, do that. So go from indirect speech into direct speech. Then I suggest you type out your speech and then run it through Grammarly, grammarly.com, to pick out all the phrases and see they're perfect. I thought I heard a silver line when it should be a silver lining. I thought I heard first pronounced Foster. And there are lots of little phrases like that that Grammarly would pick up and check that you got them absolutely right. So that would solve your problems and get you right up there as third, second, or even champion. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Can you put that in the chat, grammarly.com? I want
Yes.
to use that. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Angela Lansbury, for your comprehensive evaluation of Kanan's inspirational speech. Now I'd like to invite our timer, Toastmaster Ahmad, to report on the timings for the 3 evaluators. Toastmaster Ahmad, please.
Timer. Lee Buckley spent 2.59. Kanan 2.55 and Angela 3.10.
So have all the speakers spoken within time? They're within time, even for our last evaluator?
Yeah, 10. 3:10.
Okay, very good, excellent. I will launch the polling. I've launched the polling. Please vote for your best evaluator. All right, we have 87% voted. So we still have 1 more minute to vote for your best evaluator, please. All right, I will end the poll now. Thank you everyone for voting for your best evaluator. And now we have this appointment holder that has been actively listening quietly in the background. And I'd like to invite our R counter Toastmaster Jennifer Lim to present her R counter report.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Alicia. Tonight's business is not good business, but tonight's not good business is actually good business. If you understand what I'm trying to say. Because most of you don't use a lot of pause fillers. Congratulations. I only have a couple. Alicia, so once, once. Corey, twice. Repeated words, our listening. Experiencing. And Ahmad, so once, twice. That's the business for tonight. And it's good business. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jennifer Lim, for actively listening and pointing out our pause fillers. Remember, everyone, that pause fillers actually do not help you in your communication. So by identifying all these pause fillers, hopefully you'll be able to note what is your favorite pause filler. And again, just like the 3 tips of better communication, you need to know what are your favorite pause fillers. Remember not to use it, practice not using it, and you'll find that you can communicate better. People will be able to understand you better, and your life will be better. So practice. And I'm sure everyone is very excited to know who are the winners for the best speaker and for the best evaluator. May we have the drum roll for the best speaker. Right, the best speaker is DTM Kanan Sankara.
Thank you.
Congratulations, DTM Kanan. Your speech was indeed very inspiring. I hope the audience here will have some takeaway and remember that COVID-19, so what? You have come out resilient and you're ready to set big goals and your life vision as well. Now let's have the drum roll for the best evaluator. Drum roll, please. The best evaluator is DTM Lee Buckley. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, those who did not win, you're also good. So continue the good work. Thank you, everyone, for a fabulous Friday night and sharing your time with us. I hope you have enjoyed the night as much as I had. Remember, having a life vision is very important. Now, remember just now I thought in the earlier part of the meeting, I said I couldn't remember my life vision. Yeah, now I remember what's my life vision. I'm very interesting. My life vision is I will start from the back, meaning to say that I start with the end in mind. I envision my funeral. At my funeral, everybody will be invited, okay? And there'll be free flow of champagne. So what does this mean? Champagne is not cheap, right? So that means to say, I've envisioned myself to be a very successful person with loads of money that I can treat everybody to free flow of champagne. And then the next thing is, people will keep drinking, right? Because they're so happy there's champagne. then most likely they will get drunk and need a place to stay. So accommodation will be provided free as well. That is my life vision. All right, so everybody is happy and will remember me very well. And I would like to thank everyone for sharing their life vision with us in the chat. And I also have leave some thoughts before I hand over to Club President for this quote by Dennis Waitley. A dream is the creative vision for your life in the future. So don't just live in the present, be futuristic and let your dreams guide you. So over to you, Mr. Club President, DTM Willie Low.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Many of us who join Toastmaster to become better communicator, better leader. But before you can be better leader, you need to be a better communicator. So what shall you do? Do your speeches by just reading for the project, the evaluation form, or go to toastmaster.org, click on pathway, and go through the guides, go through the instruction video on the guides. Many of us who try to be a better, it's not about doing many speeches every day or every week. It's about the quality. It's about quality than quality. So you must have a vision to be a better speaker by following a few steps. Go to toastmaster.org, click on pathway, and select the path the project you are going to do, and follow the instruction there. Because many of us like to speak, but we never follow the procedure, and we end up doing more speeches than normal. We need to do quality speeches so that one day the dream, the vision of standing in the world stage like the world champion of public speaker who have go through the Toastmaster curriculum, after which they practice. It's not about doing your speeches for 3 times, so-called 15 times a month, and you get a title. It's not about title. It's about your vision to be a better speaker than to get a title. So this is my message. My closing message is, it's not about title that reach your vision. It's the quality that helps you to reach your vision. And I know we have some program coming up shortly. I will not hold everyone back. I will see you next Friday on the 5th of March. And the most important date in our club history will be 12th of March. That is our club contest. The difference between our club contest among the physical club is the winner video will go straight to Toastmaster International. You do not have to compete you do not need to compete with other people. You only need they will select the best winner of all. So members, the word is practice. Do a good one and show the world what you can do. And I will pass back the control to the Toastmaster of the day so that we can continue the next part of the meeting, the last part of the meeting.
Yes, thank you, Club President Willie Low, for reminding us that we need to have quality speeches and not quantity. Very important, wise advice for everyone who aspires to be a better speaker. Practice. If you spoke over time or you spoke under time, or the quality is not so good, if the evaluator has given you some recommendations to improve on, don't feel bad. Repeat your speech again the next week and refine it. Because remember, if you improve, you will improve your life vision, and you'll definitely have a better life in the future. Now, I'm very happy to tell you that the third segment of our program tonight is the e-karaoke. So I will end this chapter meeting and stop the recording, and then we can record a new recording for the third segment.